This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and it's Smackdown time yet again. And we have pitted the Samsung Galaxy S5 versus many phones, but this time it's Samsung's own Galaxy Note 4. First and foremost, size difference. Which size do you really want? Then there's the S Pen, a couple more things. We're going to talk about it now. All right, here it is, the tale of two Samsungs. They'll be happy no matter which one of these you buy. The new kid on the block, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The incumbent, the Samsung Galaxy S5, been on the market, about 7 months now. Immediately you can see the aesthetic design difference. Right here we have the faux chrome that everybody picked on so much. Little door here, waterproof, waterproof for here, not waterproof for here, keep that in mind. But nicer looking phone, get some real metal around the edges, get some interesting curves, perhaps a more tasteful design. If we flip this guy over and put him down, you can see the difference right there. So aesthetically speaking, I think most people say the Galaxy Note 4 wins. Both of these are available in a very bright white or charcoal black. Your choice. The charcoal black has a soft touch sort of finish on it. It's a little bit better for the grip. Other than that, USB 3.0 port here versus 2.0 port here. Don't think that's going to really make a whole lot of difference to anybody. So, in fact, that's probably the reason why Samsung dropped it. They both do support quick charge, though. Snapdragon 801, Snapdragon 805. Both are quad-core CPUs, 2.5 gigahertz, 2.7 gigahertz. Slight difference in benchmarks. Not a huge difference there, so I don't think that's very important. Both have 3 gigs of RAM. So you're looking at a lot of similarities here. 16 megapixel camera on the back. You got the heart rate monitor on both of these. Samsung goes to town on the Note 4, and they add some new features. They can measure your blood oxygen level. I've found that to be kind of hit or miss in terms of accuracy, so don't go running to your doctor. If you don't get a good result, just try again. It can actually also try to measure the UV from the sun, so let you know if you're going to burn like a crisp, if you're a fair person on a given day. A little bit calmer here. You get your pedometer in both of those. You can keep track of your exercise, workout program, what you've been eating, your height, your weight, that sort of thing. But I have a feeling anybody who's really that into fitness is probably going to be using a Fitbit or some other external accessory anyway, so I'm not sure if that makes a difference. It's just kind of nice to have if you happen to get it with the phone sort of thing. Both of these have fingerprint scanners embedded in the home button. The Galaxy S5 was the first one to have that feature, and both of these, it's a swipe down kind of thing. Now with the Galaxy Alpha and the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, it gets a slightly updated fingerprint sensor. Apparently it's more than software or firmware, because while the Galaxy S5 fingerprint scanner has gotten a couple of updates, it doesn't work nearly as well as the Note 4 and the Alpha in terms of getting it right more the first time. In fact, sometimes, especially if your finger is a little bit sweaty or sticky, you can try 4 times until the backup password dialog kicks in on the Galaxy S5. Also, it really never officially supported a side swipe, but the Note, although I think it's too big to hold it that way, after you enroll your fingerprints, it says go ahead and try enrolling a sideways print. And it actually does work like this if you can manage to hold the big phone like that and do it. Big phone. That's the other thing. Do you want a 5.7 inch or do you want a 5.1 inch phone? There they are side by side, so you can see the difference. Now, neither of these is petite, although 5.1 inches is now considered mainstream among Android tablets, but obviously a difference in your pocket, a difference in your hand. If you have small hands, it might be a problem. If you usually use your phone with 2 hands, some small-handed people actually like big phones because they always use 2 hands no matter what, whether it's 5 inches or heading up to 6 inches. But there you go. Of course, one thing you do get is a lot more screen real estate on the big phone, and that's very attractive, particularly if you like to watch a lot of videos or look at a lot of photos. So here they are, both showing photos, both looking very pretty, both super AMOLED, so that means high contrast, better than life colors, very vivid, sharp enough looking. With the Samsung Galaxy S5 1920 by 1080 full HD, with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 2560 by 1440. Of course, it has a bigger display, so they need to increase the resolution to try to achieve a high pixel density. So 441 ppi versus 515. Neither case can your eyes discern individual pixels. It's all so overkill high. They're both very lovely screens. They both have AMOLED photo mode for those of you who want more natural Adobe RGB color gamut. In terms of actual color calibration, the Note 4 out of the box has better, in terms of accuracy, color calibration. So the colors will still be enhanced and very saturated, but they're going to be in a slightly more balanced way. But both of these, very colorful, very pretty phones. Both of these have the same 16 megapixel rear camera. The Note 4 being newer is quicker to focus in low light. It's still not a low light champion. It's a little better than the Galaxy S5, which really is not a very good low light phone. I mean, your living room at night with just some couple of lamps turned on, club shot, restaurant, that sort of thing. Software is about the same on both of these. You got the strip right here, customizable. A couple of simple things you can do. Lots and lots of modes: panorama mode, selfie mode, effects up the wazoo. 2 megapixel front-facing camera versus 3.7 megapixel on our Galaxy Note 4. So for those of you who are big-time selfie fans, a higher resolution is going to result in better quality selfies, better quality video chat as well. So nice improvement there. Now, GPS performance, you would think it would be about the same. We have the Galaxy S5 on the left consistently doing better with GPS satellite in terms of holding onto it, keeping a hold onto it, and just getting more satellites. This is, again, both of these are the AT&T version of the Samsung phones. We've also seen this on the T-Mobile phone as well for the Note 4. So I don't know if there's going to be a software update that addresses this with the Note 4 or what. Now, it works fine, but I've seen it just when you're navigating dropping out. So if you really rely on the GPS a lot, that could be an important decision for you. Now, when it comes to multitasking, both of these support split window view, which is what we have on the Galaxy S5 right now. You could resize between two windows. We have gallery running up top here, web browser at the bottom. You can still do, well, that same exact view here on the Note 4, or you get this new pop-out floating resizable window, which is kind of way cooler. Up to you how important that is. I think it's kind of nice. It's a little bit more like how we actually multitask on a computer. In terms of software, it's Android 4.4 KitKat. On both of these, they probably will get OS updates at around the same time. Samsung isn't generally the class leader in getting updates out first, but also a lot of that has to do with carrier approvals and all that sort of thing too. You got TouchWiz on both of these. I'd say right now the Galaxy S5, because it's had a couple of fine-tuning updates over its 7 months, feels a hair more responsive sometimes in terms of that occasional hiccup or micro lag. I'm sure the Note 4 will get a couple of updates too to ensure that it's also constantly smooth. But you're looking at really the same experience here in terms of software and UI. If you like Samsung experience, if you like TouchWiz, you're going to love these phones. If you find it too heavy, you're not going to like either of these. Those of you who don't like the UI can also do things like put Nova Launcher or some third-party launcher of your choice on these. In terms of battery life, the Note 4 has a bigger battery. It has room for a bigger battery. It's also powering a much bigger screen. Both of these have removable batteries. Both of these have micro SD card slots and micro SIM card slots as well. 3220 milliamps versus 2800 milliamps. So actually almost as much battery capacity in the Galaxy Note 5. Right now we're finding both of these to be solid all-day phones. The Note 4 may get a battery update that may improve things. Right now it's not the 1.5 to 2 day phone that previous Notes have been. That could change. But right now I would say don't expect a whole lot performance gain in terms of battery life, screen on time from the Note 4. The screen is the biggest consumer of power on this, so if you tend to use it for playing music with the screen off, it's going to do great. It's when you can't stop staring at the big beautiful screen, playing games, watching videos, looking at pictures, that sort of thing, that it can really hit the Note 4. Last real important point is the S Pen. For those of you who want precise digital input, this S Pen, which uses Wacom technology, very good for writing, taking notes, much better than a capacitive stylus. Seriously superior for art as well. So a lot of people just buy a Galaxy Note 4 because they like the big screen and they don't use the pen feature much, but it does function as a mouse cursor as well as something to do input, and handy way to control these windows right here. You can use it to capture screenshots, a whole lot of other things. So if you actually like the idea of the pen, well, that's going to lean you towards the Note 4. Lastly, price. $299 with a 2-year contract in the U.S., $199 with a 2-year contract, which is the same way that the Note series versus the Galaxy S has always rolled. It's usually that $100 price difference. Now, when it comes to full retail pricing, a lot of carriers are doing payment plans these days instead of pushing you into a contract. It's going to depend on your carrier. This one in the U.S. ranges from $700 to $826, with two carriers in the middle being at $750 right now. The Galaxy S5 is pretty much sticking around $650, so it is going to be your less expensive phone. So there's the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 with its new little metal trim on the edges, and as ever, the S Pen, the Galaxy S5, the more mainstream size, a little easier to hold, Both have very similar cameras, both have the fingerprint sensor, a lot of things in common. Hopefully now that you've seen our Smackdown, you know which one's for you. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to watch our reviews of each of these, read our full written reviews on mobiletechreview.com, and hit that subscribe button.